Alright, we're ostensibly live.
In theory.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll just wait till we can confirm that.
And stream is live here.
Alrighty. Streaming live on Twitter, and we're
And I've put it out on the chat.
gonna play this week's ZP at the start. Tune in. Tune in now, like. Right, that's tweeted.
Hey, John.
That's tweeted us around. Okay. All right, welcome once again to the nominally posted punctuation stream. There's been a bit of a tech issue with the site again, so this week's zero punctuation hasn't gone up yet.
We don't like change.
No, change is bad. Everything must remain stagnant and still forever. But since we are broadcasting on a stream-like thing, I'm going to take the opportunity to play the zero punctuation video for this week right here. So you can, yes, right here in a few minutes, once the audience has built up a bit.
Fair enough.
So stick around, guys. I'm joined by Ron Whittaker and V Ventar.
Hi, folks.
Howdy.
That was them just there. And I don't think we've established what the game we're doing this week is yet, except I did put it on the title of the Twitch stream. I don't know if anyone's seeing that. Oh yeah, we're dual streaming to YouTube and Twitch again. If you're watching us on YouTube, please consider coming over to Twitch, because this is where the chat that we're paying attention to is.
We are over at www. Why am I doing that? Nobody does that anymore. Twitch.tv/Escapist Magazine.
I always wonder why everyone always said www, which is actually much longer to say than World Wide Web.
Yeah. It's just a reflex from watching all those god-awful things at the end of the 90s, start of the 2000s on British TV.
Alright, well, now we're all here. I'm going to temporarily mute my Discord friends and mute myself. And then we'll play this week's zero punctuation. So, see you all in a bit. When Deck 13 Interactive set out to make a game to rival Dark Souls, the naysayers said it couldn't be done, but Deck 13 damn well knuckled down and made Lords of the Fallen, thus proving the naysayers right. Because Lords of the Fallen was, while superficially Dark Souls-esque, short, boring, and reminiscent of a D&D campaign run by a bloke who collects knives. But nonetheless emboldened, having gotten the straight rip-off out of the way with a dark fantasy game, Deck 13 now moves to bring super hard exploration RPGs to the world of science fiction with their new game, The Surge, thus breathing new life into the word surge, which was previously of use only to electricians and erotic fiction writers. Seriously, try it. Describe any human body part as surging, and voila, you're writing erotic fiction. Tenderly he caressed her surging kneecaps. Sadly, there's very little erotic about The Surge, which continues many of the trends started by Lords of the Fallen, in that the combat's a bit clunky, and most of the characters look like they covered themselves in glue and rolled around in a dumpster full of old dishwasher parts. I don't know if The Surge is as short as Lords of the Fallen. I've heard it is, but I couldn't say because I stopped playing at the third boss. In fact, let's not mince words, I think I might hate The Surge. I feel like I've been easier going lately. It's probably because I have a small dog now, but I forgot how much I enjoy really hating things. It's like putting on a favourite old sweater and smacking yourself in the balls with your childhood teddy. And The Surge got off to such a promising start too. We open on a futuristic train with our slightly generic main character Warren, so called because he likes sticking rabbits up his bum, making his way to his first day at work with some kind of tech company. And when we're given control, we move him away from his seat and see for the first time that he's wheelchair bound. That's actually pretty neat storytelling wise. Just a smidgen ripped off from James Cameron's Avatar, but hey, without cutscenes or dialogue, we've established our protagonist as vulnerable and hoping for the better life that this tech company's industrial robot suits can offer. So he probably felt a bit gypped when it turned out all they were going to do was nail bits of scrap metal to his legs. You see, what follows the prologue is a cinematic in which Warren gets all his fancy new cyber bits drilled into his flesh, except they forgot the anesthetic and he's awake and screaming the whole way through as the camera zooms gratuitously in on the blood squirting out of his new shoulder-mounted shelf brackets. It's quite harrowing, and I'm not even sure what the point of it is. I'm sorry, The Surge, perhaps there's been a misunderstanding. I came here for some exciting sci-fi action, but you seem to be showing me crippled torture porn. Alright, fine, begrudge is a little fun. Bam! Now you're in a junkyard fighting robots. Go! It's that abrupt. Maybe if Warren had interacted with another human being during the wheelchair prologue segment, we could have gotten a handle on some context. As it stands, for all we know, the torture porn cinematic and everything following could just be some kind of how not to do it occupational health and safety video they're making Warren watch. But this is another callback to Lords of the Fallen, isn't it? Which also began with a pre-rendered intro cinematic that was largely cock all to do with the rest of the game. So I guess this is Deck 13's design philosophy. Hey, do you mind watching this video we threw together for a laugh while we finished nailing bread bins and bits of old pipe to the main character's armour? I was impressed by how the story successfully created the atmosphere of a new work environment though, because something's gone horribly wrong and no one seems to know why or who to blame. But it scarcely needs an explanation. The machines have all gone hostile. Standard science fiction plot 14 alpha. The explanation is they needed to do that for there to be a video game. So we begin the usual Dark Souls pattern, gradually advance, explore, unlock shortcuts, and get repeatedly smashed like an avocado in a sprinter's jockstrap. More so than in other Dark Souls-likes, I'd say. If it is a relatively short game, then they may have compensated by cranking the difficulty up even higher than usual. So we have to creep forward square foot by agonizing square foot, in case another concealed enemy jumps out from a blind corner and chomps your health bar up in 2 hits. But hey, if it's obnoxious difficulty that makes me like Dark Souls, then surely even more obnoxious difficulty can only make things better. Don't you try to catch me out with your Earth logic, human. In the world of difficult games, there exists a hypothetical line which I like to call the Tropic of Fuckabout. It is defined as the point where high difficulty stops being a stimulating challenge and becomes merely fucking me about. The fact that we and most of the half-human enemies we face are basically scrapyards on legs, and that the robotic enemies lean towards being flat geometric shapes on legs, mean it's really hard to read their movements, especially in dark areas, because for some breathtakingly arbitrary reason you can only turn your flashlight on when you're wearing a piece of body armour, and even then it's a miserable spot about sufficient to illuminate 2/3 of the entity trying to shove a pneumatic drill up your nose. The best approach I found was to wade in and start mashing attack, not with a fast light weapon, because I'd always come out of it with some health lost and a foot missing, because apparently one of the enemy's indistinct movements might have been a stab. I'd use a heavy weapon I could be sure would stunlock them, and which only have a wind-up time of about 900 million years, and locks you into long combo animations that might end with you comboing right off a fucking ledge into a pile of sharpened supermarket trolleys. None of which are impossible to compensate for, of course. This is all shit that can still be countered with the usual go-to advice for twats: get good. Even the fucking horrible dodge mechanic where you have to flick the right analog stick. I've said this before, third-person games, leave the right analog stick alone to its happy little world of controlling the camera. You force it out of its comfort zone, it's just going to piss on the bus seat and ruin the whole field trip. None of this was enough to bring out that hate I mentioned earlier. Frustration, yes, but frustration doesn't stop me from playing. It just means I'll need 2 diazepam and a wank once I'm done. The hate only came when I was taking on the third boss. It's a big industrial machine with about 9 things on it trying to kill you, fair enough, but for some turbo-cocking reason, every time you attack one, the game auto-targets it, leaving you staring blissfully into its eyes as its 8 friends are winding up attacks where you can't see. Get past that and I can start attacking the core, but if you target it, fucking switches to a fixed camera, so I can barely see what I'm doing. What's got into you, camera? Is this about the pissing on the bus seat comment? Finally, after much frustration and about 900 attempts, I've gotten the core on the ropes and am moments from landing the final blow, whereupon I glitched through the floor and fall to my death. No, that's too much. That's gone right over the Tropic of Fuckabout on a jet ski full of dicks. I'm done. Fuck the Surge, fuck Deck 13, fuck anyone who likes it. Blimey, that's filled my schedule out for the week. Wasn't that great, kids? Alright, let's get the Discord back up. You're still there?
Yep,
maybe.
we're here.
Yeah, I'm back now, and we're back on stream, and we're playing.
Yeah.
After that sterling recommendation I just gave it, we're playing The Surge, and if you like it, fuck you. That was the summary of things. Well, now let's start the game and look at all that shit I just mentioned. I mean, I guess we're might as well start a new one, because we just go from my last save, you'll just see me dying over and over again to a horrible boss that I hate.
Oh, God. I had that experience on my stream the other night. That was not
The
fun.
ancient Greeks once said, "A society grows great when old men plant trees whose shade they know they shall never sit in." We tend to forget about this, tend to be careless, but we have to rise to the task.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to select the appropriate scene there.
I was gonna say this gameplay is even more boring than you said it was.
Oh,
I thought
Project resolved
Oh, XSplit with your convenient scene utility
into a new era
that I forgot about.
for all
It's here now. Calm down.
I thought it was just that the game was taking ages to load.
Return to the green world we remember, where our children
Well, you didn't miss much. You missed a bunch of stock footage.
Resolve is not only revitalizing the Earth, but its people too.
Hey, cheering hacker, thanks for subscribing.
Now Creo is making it a reality. Together, we're strong. Together.
Yeah, I think they're deliberate scan lines through Dresden. It's like a aesthetic choice or something.
With us.
Yep. There's a big thing at the moment for the retro visuals.
That's been around for a while.
You just make me think of Alien Isolation and how all the monitors were like CRT.
Yeah, but that wasn't really a retro decision, as much as it was a let's make it fit to the source material decision.
I suppose.
I know you're glad to be here.
I mean, that's what they even said. They were like, we just made a decision that we can only have anything that you couldn't make in 1979. We're not going to have in the game. So
We're there,
Yeah.
whether you see us or not.
Authentic.
Maybe it's time to take a closer look. Creo is one of the world's largest manufacturers of
versus the
industrial
let's
products.
make it look retro because it's cool
That's why
thing.
you're here.
Hey, I can look around.
Reaching for the stars.
Do they have
That's
curved,
amazing.
What amazing technology.
are those curved monitors on a train?
Work in third world.
It's the future.
Yeah.
But curved monitors are fucking terrible for angle view. Oh, this is so stupid.
Creo not only wants to change the world, Project Resolve, we aim to save it. There's no divide here. At Creo,
If the graphics are a bit
Yeah.
dodgy, it might be because I tend to turn graphics down just so performance doesn't get in the way of the experience. I've never been that bothered about maximum graphics when I play games. I pretty much routinely play in 720p these days.
I think Plokite Wolf is on to something. The guy on the screen there looks like he was trying out for The Sims and didn't make it.
It does.
Hey,
Hey! Background storytelling. We were wheelchair bound. You didn't know that, did you? But that came as a big surprise. You thought we were all able-bodied and shit. Well, that shows how much you know. Where do we go? Ooh, blimey. That was a good start. Hey, that door's supposed to open. Well, I'm sure you guys know your own business best.
We're happy to welcome you as part of
Is the game all... Wow. You went through the door.
Yeah.
Please proceed directly.
Jesus. That...
Hey, sorry, I'm new around here.
Wow.
Where should I go?
This station will be closing soon. Please move on to job registration.
Sure.
What does it say on the back of our wheelchair? It says quick, swift. I'm guessing that's a joke. At the expense of the poor wheelchair-bound man.
To be fair, that is the fastest turning wheelchair I've ever seen.
Maybe he's a wheelchair basketball player in his spare time.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not liking the wheelchair accessibility of this facility.
Always good to see the Brotherhood of Steel.
All passengers, please proceed to job registration.
Oh, here's the wheelchair ramp. We found it.
Welcome to registration.
And we do continue sliding down it if we release the analog stick. That's a nice bit of detail there.
And the right person to wield it.
Yeah, I'm not suspicious of any company that dresses their security guards like that. That is a totally wholesome looking uniform.
they're just trying to be safe, Yahtzee.
Yes, especially love that. That's not even a nightstick, it's just a bit of pipe that's like 3 feet long that he's just going to whack people with.
Chief Wooster asks, are you going to have to unlock a powered wheelchair? That's probably DLC.
Yes, here's a LAN
Oh,
88,
God.
you did miss CP, but you can scroll back to the start of this stream. That was when we played it, if you like. That's the wonder of streaming technology. You can go back and watch that, and then come back and join us here in the present day.
You will receive your
It's
personal
almost like time travel, except it's not.
registration.
So, this is, for want of a better word, the class selection. You can be the agile, versatile Lynx, Robot Man, or you can be the brutal, persistent Rhino, Robot Man. What's that T-shirt say? Iron Mouse. Well, that's a comic book crossover one wouldn't expect, isn't it?
Oh my god! Okay,
Okay,
that's a horrifying image.
Well,
Yeah.
I was a Lynx in my main playthrough, so I'm going to be a Rhino this time. I'm guessing that means this is the heavy slow class as opposed to the fast, fast light one.
Thanks to K Samurai 1 and Podverse, who both just subscribed.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Then join us as a heavy operator and save tomorrow today.
Yeah, sure. I will be a heavy operator.
Right after I puke from spinning around in this wheelchair.
Oh boy, this scene's fun. I mentioned this in the video.
Installation program running.
Ah, yes, the choppy parts.
Hey, don't spoil it.
They didn't say what they were choppying.
Sedated. Initiating surgery.
He doesn't look that sedated to me, computer voice. Oh yeah, don't watch this if you're of a weak disposition, I guess.
Do you remember, I think it was Quake 3, where they turned you into a Strog for a while and you go through that thing?
Quake 4, actually. There was,
Was
a
it
very
4?
there was a very memorable scene, which was pretty much the only reason to play that game, where you get turned into a Strog from first person.
Yeah.
Of course, games like Outlast have made first-person torture old hat these days. But
When Quake 4 came out, that was...
Yeah, it was good, cool when it came out. Yeah, so I have no idea what that scene was in aid of. That was just, let's watch something horrifying for no reason.
It was to remind you that, you know, anesthesia doesn't always work.
And now we are just in the game, I guess. Yeah, that was what I wondered, Max4142. How do you change clothes after that? We got stuff drilled into our bones from the outside of our jumpsuit.
Did all that drilling for that little bit of metal?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, we can walk now. I guess it works. We ain't no wheelchair Walter no more.
And you got a stick.
Okay, you see? All that shit they just did to me, I just healed it instantly by pressing B.
Well, we did just get something else about his background there. This guy used to be able to walk.
Well, I guess, yeah, because he sort of jumped right back into it, hasn't he?
Well, not just that, he instantly knew, when he was trying to get away from the thing, he was using his legs automatically, he wasn't using his arms. He was using his arms, but he wasn't purely using his arms.
Okay. Well, he is kind of a buff dude, so I guess maybe he just had a construction job beforehand, and he got his spine mashed by a falling piano or something. So, if you know your Dark Souls... Oh yeah, blindsiding bastard. Should be fairly straightforward at this point. Target the guys, mash attack. These graffiti artists have very neat handwriting in this part of the world. And so helpful. Defeat enemies to gain tech scrap. It's better than the graffiti artists around here. All they do is write knob on the wall. Oh, hello.
Well, to be fair, there's no tech scrap there, is there?
Well, there was after we killed these things.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about where you are.
Oh, right, fair enough. Well, there's other things they could be directing me to, like the many nice Whole Foods shops.
Also, to be fair, he's in San Francisco, so he's right next to all the tech companies there. So yeah, there
might
probably
be
is
tech
tech
scrap.
around.
Berkeley, actually.
It's just a
My
sign
apologies.
that points to the
Yes.
back of the Apple store.
All the tech companies about an hour down the train line. I'm just next to all the hipster cafes and shit,
No.
and university students.
Those two things kind of go hand in hand.
They do a bit.
You know, this whole visual design reminds me of Recore quite a bit.
Okay, yeah.
Do you remember
Oh,
that?
I can see it.
It was just
yeah.
desert and broken machines.
I was trying to think. There's something else that reminds me of, and I can't think what it is.
It keeps reminding me of Fallout 4 with the outfit he's in. I think it's just the blue contrasting with the metal on top.
Does it remind you of Lords of the Fallen at all?
Maybe a little. I'm thinking more about the aesthetic, the exterior aesthetic, the desert and the. What game was that?
Because of course, the Lords of the Fallen was the previous game by this developer.
Yeah.
So this is like the spiritual successor. So I got an app here I can install on my suit that bleeps when I'm next to an item. I'm installing it to demonstrate how fucking annoying it is. And very shortly I imagine we will be removing it.
Because it's fucking annoying.
Certainly is. Neo Automata, Ron? Was that what you were thinking of? Vid and Raid
I don't
suggests?
No, I was older than that. I can't remember what it was. It's been several years ago, but I'll figure it out. It'll come to me probably tomorrow.
You're not thinking of Rage, are you?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's a.
I did recently try playing that one again, and it does not run on my system at all.
It had a lot of issues running on systems when it came out.
Well, it was very cutting edge graphically.
Well, yeah,
Used
but I
all
mean,
those
it's,
mega textures.
Yeah.
it literally will not run. It goes 5 seconds, massive freeze. 5 seconds, massive freeze. I have a freaking 12-core machine, well, 6-core machine with 12 threads, and 32 gig of RAM, and a decent graphics card. It should not be doing that shit.
You don't have an AMD card, do you?
Yeah, yeah, that's why it's doing it. Yeah.
I've just been attacked. Help me, mummy. Conversation options. That's what we like.
The reason I asked is I seem to recall that the mega textures had a lot more problems on the AMD's infrastructure than they did on NVIDIA's.
The Fallen Face asks, do we have an in-game explanation yet for why we're whacking robots with a stick instead of firearms? Well, as we established earlier, seems firearms are a thing of the past in this future society. Everyone just hits each other with sticks. And the police officers get the biggest sticks.
On my way.
Right.
Do you get any kind of
Sorry, what?
Do you get any kind of projectile weapon, as in throwing, or?
Not really. You get a drone.
Of course, you get a drone.
But yeah, drones are very hot right now.
When's the last game you streamed that didn't have a drone in it?
Ooh, Wilson's Heart didn't have a drone, unless you count Wilson's Heart, which we could throw
Yeah,
out and
true.
it could fly around the room. Alright, I guess it was a little bit like a drone.
It was a sort of a drone.
Yeah, don't mess with my Dark Souls foo. Oh, do you hear that beeping? That means there's an item nearby. We can't get to it because there's a wall in the way, but we know it's nearby. And also, my, oh, thanks for subscribing, Manly Torchic.
Yes, thank you.
With actual money. Yeah, not like you Twitch Prime losers. Yeah, so when you hear that beeping, my controller's getting a bit of a vibratey as well.
Mm.
Oh yeah, here's the gimmick. We can target different body parts of our enemy. If you target their unarmored bits, you do the most damage. Thusly.
Sadly, I quite like what I like what I'm seeing so far, but having seen your review of it, I know I'm going to hate some of the stuff coming up later.
Yeah, it's sort of it's sort of good in spirit. It's just annoying and glitchy.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, points for trying, I guess.
Well, I suppose it's better if you go in with a big idea and try and do something with it and completely fuck up than to have no ideas and just do the same shit again.
It's just visually confusing was my main complaint. Everyone's just a scrapyard on legs.
Damn it, why don't you listen?
Oh, I found an audio log. Pay attention, everyone.
Power core or replace it. Otherwise, you
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
trying to overload it without the proper power capacity.
What advice did you ask for, Beard and Kane? I didn't see it.
Too far to get caught now. Those implants go
Yeah.
for thousands. This is our golden ticket out of here, man.
Someone pay attention to the chat, because I'm kicking
I
the
must have
asses of
missed
small
it.
robots. Now I will kill your right arm. And pretty clunky combat as well. All I'm really doing is just mashing the button when I get into it, and I get locked into these lengthy combos.
Ildag says this game's hard because it has dumb as fuck mechanics. Is that fair, you think?
Yeah, sounds about right.
Virden says he's wondering if Yahtzee or any of you guys had any advice to stay motivated with writing because my ADHD is kicking my ass with it again.
I guess the best advice is just write every day, no matter what it is, no matter how bad you think it is. Just
There's actually... So, go ahead, sorry.
write once a day and read once a day. Stephen King advises writing for 4 hours and reading for 4 hours, but some of us have got jobs, Stephen King.
If I was Stephen King, I'd read for 4 hours a day too.
Some of us can't ride the gravy train forever, you know. The fucking people just buy my books to fill up space on a shelf sort of area that you're in.
There's a international challenge which I found quite useful to get myself writing. But people are going to laugh at it, but it's NaNoWriMo.
Yeah, I did NaNoWriMo once. That's where you write...
I do them pretty regularly.
You write a 50,000 word novel?
Yep.
Is that right? Over the course of
In a month.
National Novel Writing Month, 'tis called.
Yeah. They also do smaller ones in the summer where you can set your word count to whatever the hell you like. So if you just literally want to get yourself into the habit of writing, set yourself 10,000, 15,000 words, and do that over the course of a month during the summer.
Because calling 50,000 words a novel is slightly generous.
It is,
It's a bloody short novel. I strive for 100,000 in my books. That's a good general novel length, I find.
There's nothing stopping you from doing 2 NaNoWriMos to get that volume of text if you wanted to. But it's a good way of getting yourself into the habit of writing. You're not going to create something there without having to do a massive amount of editing, but it's a good way to get you going.
Quite. But you know, editing is for once you finish the first draft. Just get it out.
Yeah.
Don't care about the quality while you're getting it out. And then once the whole plot's in place, that's when you go back and clean it up. But I know a lot of writers who get bogged down just re-editing the first chapter they've written and getting all fussy about it. You want to get out of that mindset. Just get it out and don't care till it's done.
And don't be afraid of when you do start editing it, going back over it and going, "Oh dear God, why did I write this shit?" Because that's the point at which I always trip up. Because I just look at it and go, "No."
So I just, you know, anecdotally speaking, I went back the other day and was cleaning off a bunch of old stuff off an old computer that I had, and I found all this stuff that I wrote like the first year that I was writing, to getting paid to write. And my God, it was terrible. I mean, I said, Jesus, did I really write this shit?
Well, look at it as a way of charting your personal growth as a writer.
Well, I think everybody does that. Everybody looks back at stuff they wrote, you know, 2, 3, 4 years ago and goes, "Geez."
Oh God, yeah. If that, I like to look back
6
on
months,
things,
6 weeks.
I look back on things I've written 6 months ago, and I want to cringe.
Happy to help.
Yeah.
You know, as long as no one's read it yet, you can always change it.
One of the bittersweet things to say is that, You know, unfortunately, a lot of the stuff that I wrote the first couple of years is no longer available anywhere on the internet because of mergers and site changes and stuff like that. And I feel bad about that, but I'm also kind of glad nobody else but me can read that now.
Yeah. I think a piece of advice that I would give, and I don't expect anyone to follow, is just to not even publish the first thing you finish. Just throw it away, look back on it, like do something else, look back on it in about a year, and then you'll realise, like, you probably should never have been published at all. But I don't expect anyone to do that.
Also, there's nothing wrong with taking the first thing you've written, taking it to a group of like-minded people who you trust, and just having a laugh at how bad it is with
Yes, such as a local writers' circle.
Yep.
Check online for your local thingies.
They can be remarkably useful.
It invited me to press X there, but it didn't work. I'll have to press X on another occasion. That's the way. So you can saw off people's body parts if you specifically want their weapons, or like their head, to put on your mantelpiece.
I assume you mean in game, not just for shits and giggles in real life.
Oh yes, in the game.
Good.
But you know, if that's your bag, who am I to judge?
Yeah.
Now we have a vibro cutter. That looks like a bread knife. Anyone here made of bread? Anyone here got some troublesome loaves they'd like me to deal with? I'm a professional, don't you know?
I like to think that's the tools of the sandwich maker.
Well, we never established what our new job actually was. Maybe we were going to work in the cafeteria. And we just picked up another new weapon. It's a single-rigged. It's a slow-speed, high-impact weapon. And spoiler alert, I found slow and heavy was best because you can usually stun lock guys.
Well, that'll probably work better with the build you've got now anyway.
Yeah. Also, the wind-up is kind of slow, but if you do a sort of a thrust attack like I just demonstrated, you can get your attack off a lot quicker. So I usually start off a good, honest fight with a jump attack. That's my hot tip.
Do you think this game could be fixed potentially?
Blindsided. I don't know. I think the problems lie in the visual design and the clunkiness of the combat, really. A lot of that all kind of goes together.
Yeah.
Your left leg offends me, sir.
Give me your weapons, your guns, and your left leg.
You forgot to say please.
Please.
Is this guy alive? I can target him. He has a full health bar. I think he's just had some kind of epiphany. Hey, wait a minute.
I don't have to kill people.
He's one of those guys, he's sitting over there in the corner going, what if this is all just a video game, you guys?
I'm impressed by his upper body strength, the way he's just holding that weapon up with one arm. Without even trembling. This guy does his cardio.
The horrifying thing is, these people are all rejects from this organisation, and this organisation is very obviously recruiting people with physical disabilities. This game is literally disability slaughter simulator.
You might have noticed I got hit by an attack during that last combo. If you could have seen it coming, you're a better man than I, Gunga Din. Yes, thank you, Graffiti.
That guy ran on Windows 2000. No, it must be Windows ME. 2000 was a fine operating system. Just didn't support anything.
Yahtzee Dr. Bonesaw says if you favorite a weapon, you only need to use the left D-pad to swap between your favorites, so you don't have to open your inventory.
Who cares?
Fair enough.
Surprised this game doesn't have any asynchronous multiplayer element, as is the Dark Souls standard. So you can actually pause the game and the game pauses.
That's nice.
So Yahtzee, are you on? Is this the? Was it Steam playing on PC?
Yes, it's PC. Hey, this makes it different to Dark Souls. The jump's actually worth a damn. You can jump on top of things. Well, there's really no reason why the sprint and jump controls need to be so bloody awkward, except that that's the same jump control that Dark Souls has. Yes, thank you. Item indicating beepy thing. K-Samurai1 asks, did Lords of the Fallen have MP? I can't remember. That game was very boring. I have forgotten a lot of things about it. Though I remember it had a couple of features that this game has, like when you die you've got a limited time to get your bloodstain back.
Single player.
Yes, whoop-de-whoop. I will be unequipping that beeping thing shortly, I think. Yeah, I think I'll just do that now.
Just proving the annoying bit.
Don't say I can't unequip it without replacing it with something. Don't do this to me. Oh, hang on. That made it go away somehow. Alright. Of course things happen in this game, Secret Negative. We beat up a lot of men very similar to ourselves.
World at War 17 asks, Yahtzee, did you ever finish Fallout New Vegas? I remember that a glitch ruined your playthrough in that game too.
No, I never got around to that actually. I'm not usually a big fan of Bethesda RPGs because they're so very unimmersive usually. Oh, hang on, there's a man. And I just can't get past all the people that just stare at you like creepy people while you're trying to talk to them. And the kind of shitty AI.
Hmm.
Ow, ow, ow. I'm going to cut your entire body off. Hey! I successfully cut his body off, and now I can craft his body.
The aptly named Book Maniac 404 wants to know, Yahtzee, what made you take up writing?
I don't know, I've just always enjoyed writing. I remember reading The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy when I was like 8 years old, and ever since I've always wanted to write books.
That's a book that would do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
She's right. I've seen the data. We've got to keep.
Must admit, I used to, when I was a kid, listen to the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy audiobooks read by Douglas Adams, and those are a tremendous influence on me.
Oh, bollocks. I can't craft my new body until I have 12 rig armatures, and I've only got 3.
Oh.
Well, that puts the kibosh on that little ambition.
Yeah, I see a couple people in chat wanted to know if you were planning on checking out the Friday the 13th game.
I was thinking about it, but I've been hearing bad things.
It's very, 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 very buggy right now.
So
Yes.
that is among the things that I have been hearing.
There is a fucking glorious clip of Liz playing it a couple nights ago, where she's just went to throw a guy out a window and the whole thing bugged out, and so she was just dragging him around the camp and couldn't do
Oh, it got
anything to him.
Like a bit of
it got
snot on the
better.
finger.
Yeah,
Oh no,
and
it got better.
She eventually had to run him into the lake, and when they ran him into the lake, he finally popped loose. It was amazing.
It was even better than that if you were actually if you were there, because apart from Liz, everybody else saw it as her hand hovering above his head while he just struggled on the ground. So it looked like she was puppeteering him around the place while he was moonwalking backwards. It was hysterical.
Nice. Ow.
I was playing that one last night with Liz, John, and one of our chat moderator, Wolf Venom, and the longest time I survived was where I just went into a room, locked the door, opened the window. This was a first floor room as well, and just waited the entire match. Only at the very end did the guy realise I was in this building, and he spent about 5 minutes trying to find me in the building before finally realising I was upstairs.
Oh bum, I
and then
died.
I jumped out of the window. Oh shit.
Oh bum, I died, because I was kind of losing track of what was going on there. I was just trying to heal up, but I was locked into a fucking combo for half an hour. Oh well.
Be careful out there.
Yes, thank you. I'm familiar with Dark Souls Bloodstain mechanic game. And there it is over there. Well, that was easy. Well, this is the kind of shit that pissed me off about this game. I came back here after going to the bonfire, come maintenance room, and I couldn't for the life of me remember which door I'd come through. Was it in this industrial room or this industrial room?
Yeah.
I have since realised it was this industrial room I needed to be going to. You're a knobby little so-and-so. So, these dudes we're killing, are they just corpses inside robot suits that are working of their own free will, or are they humans who've had their minds messed up?
Yes.
Well, thanks for clearing that up.
Maybe both.
It could even be that they are unwilling, they're just the machinery is doing it for them.
Yes.
That's why they screwed it into their bones, so that they couldn't take it off.
And I am killing they asses. Although they do keep coming back to life each time you go to the maintenance room, and I don't think they have any specific reason to be doing that, like they do in Dark Souls. Whole everyone got the undead disease and shit.
Yeah, they haven't thought this one through as far.
Saladin Vadik asks, where is your shadow? Oh yeah, I turned shadows off. Because the game was crashing fairly regularly, and I sort of vaguely remembered that being a problem with Lords of the Fallen that went away if you turn shadows off. And it's been
appears to have worked in this case as well.
It seems to have done, yeah, but I wouldn't put this game past crashing at some point during this stream, so keep an eye out, listeners.
It's 2017, and they can't make shadows work without crashing the... Wow.
Well, it's a complex thing, a shadow.
Yeah, but every other game in the world does it these days. It's not... Almost every single game engine supports shadows.
I'm not sure what engine this game's running on. Did anyone happen to notice at the, idents at the start?
I'll look it up.
It's probably Unreal Engine. It usually is.
Typically, yeah.
Holy shit, I just picked up a small pile of rusty metal scrap. Well, that's this year's Christmas gift sorted out.
The game is powered by the Fledge engine developed from scratch by Deck 13.
Oh, there you go. It's an in-house engine. That explains it. Haha! I got my boost attack in first. And I'm fixing to saw your head off.
Wait. Beard Race says we should cut the developers some slack. We've only had accurate shadow rendering in games for a decade or so.
Motherfuckers.
Well, that's the thing.
To quote,
I was playing.
To quote great luminaries of our time, motherfuckers always trying to ice skate uphill.
I mean, for fuck's sake, I was playing Mafia 1 earlier this week, and that supports shadows.
That's
decent shadows for its time.
That's an old bugger, isn't it, Mafia 1?
Yeah.
We're up to that's pretty good, though.
Don't know if you heard, but we're up to 3 now.
Yeah.
I did a stream of it.
Yes, he did. I was there.
God, you did, yeah.
I can vouch for him. It was real.
Oh, great.
I'm going to end up streaming that one at some point.
I've gotten turn around again. Where the fuck was I going?
Resist urge to sing, turn around.
Over there, I think. Vid in Wraith says, I realise why this game isn't really grabbing me like Dark Souls does. There's no fashion souls. Quite. You can't even customise your character. We're stuck as this, jag balls.
Hmm.
I guess because they'd already made that torture porn pre-rendered cinematic and they were too in love with it to get rid of it.
Yeah. That is literally that is probably literally why they did it.
Laughing CH says, even Consuming Shadows had shadows.
Exactly. Well, it only had shadows, if I'm honest. I love that little way heavy attack, little coil he does before he does it. It reminds me of before Linda Carter would turn into Wonder Woman. Did you do that little spin thing? Way. Yeah, it's alright. I might as well go back to the bonfire. Come maintenance room.
It's nice of the enemy to hold still for you while you wound up for that attack. Says... Fallen based.
Yeah. Oh hey, implant slot unlocked. Now I can reinstall my proximity sensor. Ha 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 ha. Or not.
Or not.
Implant slot unlocked, so they've cut enough parts out of you that there's space now.
Well, I guess. I mean, haven't you noticed the keen hole in my skull?
Hmm.
Trouble with these robot enemies, as I sort of mentioned in the review, is that it's hard to tell when they don't really have much in the way of moving parts. So the only way you can tell they're about to do some kind of lunge attack is if they just move up slightly.
Kazuya suggests scrapping the proximity sensor as it's supposed to be worth 1,000 scrap. Can't speak as to whether that's true or not.
Oh, is it? How do you scrap things then?
You might have to do it at the station if you can't do it while you're out and about.
Alright, well that's worth checking out, I guess. Don't worry, you'll have plenty of times to enjoy this part of the level as we go back to it again and again. Don't you start, lady. Right.
Alex the Sasser asks me, obviously, American guy, does streaming with two Brits make you feel boring and not fancy? I'm pretty much always boring and not fancy, so these guys are just exaggerating the effect.
Well, don't worry, Ron. We'll try not to show you up too badly.
I swear, sometimes I think Viventar was the voice actor for, what's his name in Borderlands 2?
Oh God, what was his name?
Sir Hammerlock.
Hey, I got about 2,000 scrap for that.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, it's not
Thank
really,
you.
not really scrap that's the problem at the moment. It's getting these crafting items. If I want a nice vest to wear, I need 9 more rig armatures. But I guess we can increase our core power for giggles. Anyway, many things to kill. So are we all putting on our are we all putting on our received pronunciation accents now?
Why not, old chap?
Oh, delightful, splendid, 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 splendid.
Excellent, wonderful.
Case Samurai says if Viventar was Hammerlock, what would that make me?
Some dirty colonial, I shouldn't wonder.
I know who he'd be. He'd be small, he'd be annoying, and we'd make sure he touched that gate to get electrocuted.
Oh, so you're saying I'm Claptrap? That's
sorry.
That's less than reassuring.
If the shoe fits.
To be fair, Ron, Claptrap survived everything that was thrown at him in that game.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
true. Only to be thwarted at the end by stairs, much like Yahtzee's character at the beginning of this game.
Yeah.
And big thank you to Sir Andis for subscribing.
All right, thank you.
Hey, another one that subscribed with money. What a bunch of rich fucks we've got watching us today. Why don't you help the world around you, you 1%er assholes?
Formoka says that you'd be handsome Jack.
Oh, there are worse things to be than a megamaniacal, person trying to take over the world.
Oh, Jesus Christ, there's a thing behind me. Sorry, I didn't see you, Mr. Thing. I'll just leave you to it then. What is that?
Courtesy of Lothian with the British Tea Time clip. Well done. Well done.
Time for tea, chaps.
Now this is veering on racist now.
Yeah. Yeah, Wraith wants to know if there are any actual NPCs in this game, and do they laugh after every sentence regardless of context?
No, I'm afraid not. Although there are NPCs.
Because if not, this game has missed the core of Dark Souls.
Wow.
Amongst other things.
Sergeant Strawberry wants to know if we think the success of Minecraft has caused crafting in games to go way out of hand and put crafting system in games that don't need it.
See, it depends on how you define a crafting system. I mean, a lot of games have like some kind of crafting, which is basically just fulfill some numbered criteria to advance thing, which is basically the same as any level up mechanic. It's just collecting random items rather than experience points. See, in Minecraft, it's an intuitive form of crafting. Like, get 3 bits of wood, stick them together in a line, and hey, you've got a wooden stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is
I don't necessarily think it was Minecraft that started all that either. There's been this really weird bleed between genres for a long time. I was actually talking to Josh Vanderwall, our editor-in-chief at The Escapist, about it this morning, and how, because he's really irritated that Tekken 7 has a crafting system.
Arguably, adventure games with inventory puzzles were the first games to have crafting in.
Yeah.
Like I say, it depends how you define it.
Great news, guys.
So, I mean, there's crafting systems we've seen the genres mesh together forever. I mean, you think about games like Madden NFL's got an RPG system in it now.
Yeah, Christ.
Yeah, I mean, exactly, that's the proper response. So, I mean...
Yeah, I'm just thinking of the last game I've been playing, which of course is Injustice 2, and its bloody gear loot drop system.
So I have a question about that, because I want to get your opinion on something.
Okay.
Do you think that the crafting / gear system in Injustice 2 is there to add variety to the game, or to act as a vehicle for more microtransactions?
Well, it doesn't add much in the way of variety. I mean, just to spoil a point I'm making in an upcoming review, it's not like the last Injustice game where you could get costumes for the Joker where he's dressed like he was in The Killing Joke, or how he's dressed in red, like the Red Hood costume, which are fun costumes. The stuff in Injustice 2 is just get a jumper that looks slightly different to the default jumper. and the overall look of the character isn't affected at all. It's just, you know, micromanaging whether you're wearing a sleeve that's 6 inches long or 12 inches long.
Wow.
Because I know it's super cynical of me, but I can't help but think that it's just a way to come up with things that they can sell people.
Well, obviously, it's the Overwatch loot box thing again.
Yeah.
You get a random loot box, you get 3 random items for characters you never use that up a stat by like 0.1%. So that they can pretend there's some kind of clever strategy involved in using them. Mind you, I say that, but I quite like playing as Scarecrow in that game, and he does get a lot of items that have quite different looks going on. You can get a big gas mask and a big Freddy Krueger hat, or a big skull on his face. I like Scarecrow. Scarecrow's my boy. He was really good in Batman Begins, and he was really good in Arkham Asylum, and between those two, he became one of my favourite Batman characters. I want your body, sir. Oh, I don't want your body, damn it. This was a private party. Ow, ow, bugger, shit, arse. Well, it's got the... Oh, blimey. My body's having a time there. It's got the do not get involved in a battle with more than one enemy thing from Dark Souls going on. It's got that down.
Here's one for you, Yahtzee. Not Yahtzee's girlfriend asked if you were going to stream Dark Souls with Cardinal Richelieu again anytime soon.
We won't be this weekend because we've got a prior appointment. We will be streaming again the weekend after that.
Well, there you go.
Verdin, you can pick it up on the previous broadcasts and also on our YouTube channel.
Dark Knight 9 is asking me to turn the volume of the game up a bit. Is anyone else finding it too quiet? Because I can do that. That is a thing I can do. Fairly simply.
It's just a button.
Yeah. No, fuck the game. Yes, it's a little quiet. What is there to listen to? Not much to hear, I mean. I prefer your voice. Alright, let's not micromanage the little details. I won't bother.
As we said, those enemies do look pretty dead.
Yeah. Certainly look like they've had a better time of it.
The one thing I will say is, after watching it this far, I still don't get the point.
I think, you know, it's just everything's gone wrong and you have to piece together what happened. It is a mystery.
Well, it looks like
God damn it.
At the start of the game, it said you have a defective power core. I wonder if you were being used to do something for a while and then broke down and they just threw you out.
Ooh,
or you were just broken from the beginning.
Ooh, there's
and
a
they
thought.
just threw you out.
I suspect you might be being cleverer than the actual game writers were. Right then.
No, unfortunately, Arlen the Eye, this game is not in beta.
No, this is finished. This is out. You know, play it today, fans.
It's available on Steam if you're feeling masochistic.
Along with a bunch of other games.
Yep.
Some of which are also Dark Souls-like. Have you tried Dead Cells yet? It's a 2D Dark Souls-like that I'm quite enjoying. Play it instead of The Surge.
I must admit, I'm actually...
Deathtrap82 says, game is okay, not great, but it's hardly offensively bad. I think that was pretty much how I was feeling when I was at this stage of the game as well. It was sort of, it wasn't so much the single horrible thing that happened with the third boss that sort of ruined the whole thing. It was just a sort of a slow grind. just annoyance after annoyance to sort of build up, and when a bad thing happened, I was just like, no, this isn't worth the stress anymore.
No. I quite like the visual style myself, but it doesn't work with this type of gameplay.
No, quite. Everything's
If this was something like...
Okay, this is going horribly wrong.
Osdington wants to know if we're expecting an announcement from Software. Boy, that kind of tripped me up.
From
at E3 about their new game.
Shit.
If you see anything from them at E3, it's going to be during Sony's press conference, and it's going to be probably a teaser. I don't think you'll see too much in the way of like hardcore information.
You know what, Dr. Bonesaw? I think I will equip the faster weapon for now. Especially against them drones.
Mm.
I keep forgetting that's the menu button, that's not the inventory button.
Oh god. Kazuya says, Surge is a good game, my only gripe is some of the later enemies seem to break the rules, resetting combos and ignoring staggers.
Yep.
That
sounds about right.
That's... No, you shouldn't. If you establish rules in a game, you shouldn't be breaking them.
Yeah, it's a pretty big thing in any game if the computer's just gonna cheat.
Yeah.
I mean, what chance does that give you?
Yeah, that was the problem I was having with the final level of Mafia 1 the other day, because the end boss of that game has ridiculously good aim.
Yeah. I mean, I always feel an end boss or a later game enemy should be sort of a test for the rules as they have been established. It's like a final exam. If they're just going to use entirely different rules, like some games I can mention, they just have like boss fights that are just sequences of quick time events or whatever. Then what was the point of all the gameplay leading up to it?
Or maybe if you had one where it's just breaking one of the rules, not all of them. So you've got to learn how to cope without that one particular thing, but not just breaking rules at fucking random.
See, it's in some areas they just copy Dark Souls controls for no reason, like the jumping, and in some areas they just make it a bit different for no reason. Like if you want to retarget something, you have to press the left trigger rather than the target button again. God damn it! I just want these bloody drones to stop shooting at me while I'm doing something else.
So the drones have ranged weapons, and there's no ranged weapons available to the players.
No, not for me.
Fuck that.
He just sawed my bread knife off.
It's not a statement you get to say very often, that.
No. No.
It's not one we've used on the stream a lot.
Where I'm usually very careful about my bread knives. Well, at least my one-handed weapon proficiency's gone up. I'm sure that'll help. I'm sure that'll be the clincher.
Cirque Cress says, what about shields to block ranged attacks?
Oh yeah, I got a block attack. It's just I'm being attacked. I was being attacked on 3 sides there. I don't know if you noticed.
Hmm.
Sergeant Strawberry asks Yahtzee, as we all should know, you're a single-player person above all else. But has there ever been a multiplayer-focused game that you've really enjoyed?
Would you say Dark Souls is multiplayer-focused? It's not so much, but I always think Dark Souls is a game that's designed to be played as part of a group. Like, all your friends play it and you swap information on how to move forward and tips on bosses, and then you directly help each other in fights. That's why there's messages on the floor everywhere you go. Oh, for God's sake. That's not fair, I wasn't ready. Come back here, you big chicken. Oh yeah, Rocket League. Thanks you for reminding me, Sarah Phoenix. I quite enjoyed playing Rocket League.
Car soccer.
And that's a bit of a surprise because you're not a racing game or anything like that fan. Or a
No,
sports game fan.
I guess just because it's a very raw sort of fun.
Hmm.
And I do like some. I do quite like racing as a concept. I mean, it doesn't turn me off. I was very fond of Driver San Francisco.
Yeah, that was a great
Oh,
game.
that is a good game, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll ask you this question: did you happen to see the trailer that came out earlier this week for Agents of Mayhem?
No, I did not.
The new Volition game they're working on. That's in
Well,
the Saints Row universe.
I was blocking there. You saw it. Thanks for the advice, chat. You assholes.
They've themed the entire trailer around Knight Rider.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's
And apparently they have.
that's by the Saints Row guys, isn't it? Agents of Mayhem.
Yeah, it's actually in the Saints Row universe. It's set in that universe.
Yeah, it seems like the sort of thing they do. So is like the leader of the Third Street Saints still the president of the United States?
I don't think so.
Wait,
don't think so.
wasn't the Earth blown up in the Saints Row universe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But there's also now time travel, so.
Oh, I see.
There's probably time travel. I don't know. I mean, can you imagine how many things they're going to come up with? But
I mean, let's put it like this. Saints Row 4 was narrated by who?
Jane Austen.
Yes. Which, by the way, was just fucking amazing. I loved that touch.
hey, thanks for the resub, Jombly Wobbly. Thanks very much.
Some people are pointing out that there is a duck in this game, which I'm now demonstrating. Unfortunately, it doesn't hold, so it's useless against a sustained stream of fire. And also, you have to use the right analog stick, which is very bad controller design. I said in the review, the right analog stick is for moving the camera, and that is its job forever.
Yeah, so they did an entire trailer themed around Knight Rider, and then they teased. It said on next week's episode, and the entire tease was Magnum PI.
Is that a multiplayer focused game, Agents of Mayhem, or is
No, it's not. I've seen a lot of people refer to it as like a TF2 knockoff, but it's actually a like squad game where you play. I think it might have co-op. I think it's got co-op.
Okay.
But you can play it by yourself with a couple of AIs. There's just you have a group that you run around with in the game. So it'll be interesting. I mean, I'm gonna play it because it's Volition, and their stuff is always fun. So,
yeah, suppose it is at that. God damn it!
It has to be said, this Rhino thing doesn't seem to be working. It doesn't seem to be massively lacking in maneuverability. It doesn't seem to have massive durability either. So
yeah,
how different is it from the Lynx?
I'm not seeing much difference from my first playthrough, if I'm honest.
Maybe it's stuff that comes in later, like the higher grade stuff, but surely there should be a difference from the very beginning.
Leopard of Fire points out, isn't Red Faction also in the Saints Row universe? Yes.
Yes.
Although since Red Faction came first, you could argue that Saints Row is in the Red Faction universe.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's all the same universe.
Red Faction takes place in the future of Saints Row because there's a
Ultor.
Yeah, the Ultor Corporation appears in both games.
That explains a lot. Apart from, the Earth being blown up. What?
I don't specifically remember the Earth being blown up in the Red Faction games.
And don't forget that at the end of...
Those all took place on Mars, as I recall.
Yeah, at the end of Saints Row 4, there's that whole ending in Get Out of Hell where what did they say? God reset the world or something?
Oh, that would be disappointing if that was canonical.
To be fair, it's Saints Row. Who cares?
I mean, yeah,
it's just crazy shit.
Say.
I think it's very easy to say that Saints Row is just a game where crazy shit happens, but something I said about Saints Row 4, that it actually puts quite a lot of effort into looking like it's not putting any effort in.
It does, yeah.
I mean, the majority of Saints Row 4 takes place in that quote-unquote simulation.
Yeah. Simulation of the city from Saints Row 3, luckily enough. Yeah. So they didn't have to do any more work.
I always found the cars in Saints Row to be interesting, but then I find them interesting in all games. So.
Well, the cool thing about the Agents of Mayhem thing is that the cars actually have the AI and talk to you.
Oh, so it is
so it's
Knight
like,
Rider.
Yeah.
Literally.
They even used the theme music from Knight Rider in the trailer.
I ain't falling for that this time. I will leave them to their business in that room with several boxes.
They didn't get oh god, what's his name? He goes by the Hoff these days, but what's his actual name?
David Hasselhoff.
David Hasselhoff, that's his name, yeah. They didn't get him to do the narration, did they?
I don't think so. Is it?
Ah, they should have done. He did a surprisingly good bit of acting recently, where he was just reading out stuff that was written by a writing bot. He put a surprising amount of emotion into it and made it really quite disturbing. It was impressive.
Ow. I am hitting you with the heavy thing. That means you be stun locked like a good boy. And I'm out of healing items. Well, that's just dandy. Laughing CH asks, Yahtzee, what book are you currently reading, and have you ever heard of The King Killer Chronicles by Patrick Rothfuss? You know, it's funny you should mention that name. I haven't read any Patrick Rothfuss books, but I was looking at the Goodreads page for my most recent novel, We'll Save the Galaxy for Food, available from all good book retailers, and there was a review by Patrick Rothfuss.
Really?
Yeah, he said he enjoyed Jam very much, so he sought out this book and also liked it very much.
Oh, that's good.
So there.
So you brought up David Hasselhoff and reminded me. Did you? I saw that there's apparently some sort of new Knight Rider movie in the works.
Please God, no.
With David Hasselhoff in it.
Please tell me he's playing like a boss of the company or something, or like
I think he is. Yes, I think that's exactly what it is.
Right.
I think.
Okay, that's fair. That's fine. Just so long as they're not going to do the shit they did with the last time they made a bloody Knight Rider reboot, and it was it was god.
Oh, was that the one with like the wholesome-looking young people taking over from David Hasselhoff?
Yeah, and it was bad acting, bad script writing, bad choice of cars.
You into cars, Viventa?
To a depressing level.
Well, I'm still learning to drive one. So perhaps we have something in common.
Yay!
Good, I should invite Viventa over here to finish my car project for me so I don't have to.
I could help. If you could arrange transport. And provide parts. And tools.
Yeah, see this? Tools. See this bit of helpful graffiti? Press down, toggle your gear lights. I don't have gear lights because I don't have any body armor equipped. So I cannot have a flashlight. I am a second-class citizen in the world of illumination because I have no body vest.
So basically what you're saying is you're not a member of the Illuminati.
Ha 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 ha, and furthermore ha ha.
I'll show myself out.
Indeed.
I'm gonna cut your body off.
Yeah.
I hardly think the joke was that bad.
Now it looks like chat's on books, and Wheel of Time comes up. The Ian M. Banks Culture series are both good.
Mm.
I read the first book that Patrick Rothfuss wrote, and I quite liked it. So
I always think of Patrick Rothfuss when it's the
well, perhaps I should check him out since he is such a fan of mine and all.
I mean, have you seen that guy? He's got an epic beard.
He does. I don't like facial hair, and I've got to admit, that's an epic beard. I'll just shill for Anne McCaffrey because it's a good series. Her Pern novels. And her other books as well.
The Locust 16 says Yahtzee. The parts you cut off your enemies is how you get your crafting mats. So cut them up and craft shit.
Well, that's what I assumed, but I don't seem to be getting much.
Yahtzee, I hate to break this to you, but you're now listening to strange voices from the internet telling you to cut people's limbs off and use them.
Oh, well, the normal Saturday night, then.
Yep.
They don't usually come from the internet, though.
Is it Wednesday already?
Now, what the dilly balls am I doing up here?
I will back for Mocha up here. The Skullduggery Pleasant books are ridiculously good. For something that's supposed to be, when it started out, just for children, those are really good books. Derek Landy is the author of those.
I have heard of such things. Ow!
Also, before I forget, viewers on YouTube, because we're dual streaming today. If you want to join in the chat, if you want to join in the chat and send questions and that to what's going on here,
yes,
please join us at
twitch.tv/Escapist Magazine.
Anytime.
Thank you.
This is a lovely time to get into the chat if you're keen on fantasy books, it seems.
Yeah.
We do love our books.
Also, there's a John Bully Wobbly with like a Pepper update. So.
Well, Pepper's back at the training school. See, last week was a sort of benchmark week where we had him back for a week to see how he's done, and he's back in the school this week. He's improving.
I've got to quote John's quote here: "To tear the flesh, to wear the flesh, to be born into worlds where his flesh becomes my key."
We're really finding Pepper bucks his ideas up fast when we introduce the squirt bottle into the situation. I just have to put my hand on the squirt bottle now.
He's like,
Pepper, Pepper, go on your bed.
So it's a
touch bottle. Oh shit, you're serious.
So it's a Pavlovian response. You have programmed the dog.
Quite right. For of course, Pavlov's experiments were originally with dogs.
Indeed.
Oh, what's that joke? Bloke goes into the library and says, "Have you got that book about Schrodinger's cat and Pavlov's dogs?" And the librarian says, "I'm not sure if it's in or not, but it rings a bell."
Oh, God! I just...
That's almost as bad as some of the puns we see on the stream.
Yeah.
That wasn't a pun.
Well, it wasn't a pun.
The puns are plays on words. That was just...
No, I said it was almost as bad as some of the puns.
Oh, quite right. Semantics.
Oh, apparently I did it wrong. I need to do it in a dull, emotionless voice, so I will redo it for John. Oh, for God's sake.
No,
I need to copy it from... Stop moving, chat! Okay, I can do it this way. To tear the flesh. Shit, god damn it, chat is still moving! John, post it to me in Discord. Damn you, chat! You have foiled me!
Well, I can't remember where I'm supposed to go now because all these environments are the bloody same.
They really are.
Screw you guys.
The best part
I'm
about
just going this way.
Viventar, is that Chad is now actively trying to thwart you.
I know, I see. You guys are dicks.
Yeah, I think I have to go downstairs to that dark area that I can't light up because I haven't got a vest on.
Since we're still talking about books, James Hetfield Serbia says, Yahtzee, which Terry Pratchett book is your favorite? I know you said you outgrew them a long time ago.
Oh, I think we've had this question, but I think one of my favourites was always one of the first ones I read, which was Interesting Times. One of the Discworld books.
I'm a fan of the Moist Fun Lip Fig ones because I just love that fucking character.
Ah, yes. They were some of the much later Discworld
Yeah.
books. He's dead, right? Am I remembering that wrong?
I'm afraid so, yeah.
Yeah. I knew he had either had Alzheimer's or was dead or both.
Alzheimer's and dead.
Well, so much for him.
Yeah. So, Laughing CH has been kind enough to post it for me. To tear the flesh, to wear the flesh, to be born into new worlds where his flesh becomes my key. Better?
Well, I'm cutting people's bodies off a lot, but I'm not seeing many crafting items. I guess I just have to, like, destroy them at the base or something. To reduce them to their components or some shit.
Yeah. Mist Heart 101 mentions the Dresden Files, which are great books.
Yeah, it's a bit popcorny as reads go.
Yeah, the early ones are better than the later ones, but they're still quite good.
Yeah, I've read.
Actually,
I went through them all. They're definitely hit and miss.
Actually, did you ever read any of Jim Butcher's fantasy work?
No, I know he has written some though. He's got like the two major franchises that he works on: Dresden Files and some fantasy thing.
I think it's called the Codex Alera or something like that. It's not bad. It's not bad either.
The only Dresden Files experience I have is the game. They did an RPG of it.
There was a game? I know there was a TV series at one point.
Don't remember there ever being a game.
Not a video game, though. Desktop, pen and paper RPG.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I ran a campaign of it.
See, if there'd been a video game, I would have known.
There was and the TV series was decent. So.
That's all you can ask.
Yeah, I heard good things about that.
It's not great. It wasn't great, but it was decent.
Yeah, I ran a campaign of it set in 1980s Hawaii, called, because I felt like being a dick, Hawaii Files. Oh.
That's barely even a pun.
Yes, it is. Terrible.
I mean, you could have at least themed it around undersea exploration and called it Hawaii Dive-O.
That could have worked. But I did have to write a great big list for it called Time Fuck, where they fucked up time because they ended up travelling backwards in time. So when they fucked up time, bad shit happened.
Well, that'll happen. Did we learn nothing from Biff Tannen's alternative 1985? Oh, this is a good implant. I ended up using this for most of the game last time I got it. Instead of using up energy for stupid reasons, I can just heal with it.
Nice. Ooh, what are your thoughts on the Netflix plan to make a Witcher series from Doug Doge McDouglas?
I don't really care. I don't really watch much TV generally. I think it's pretty much just Game of Thrones these days. And I'm not that into the games, and I never read the books.
I have to say, I'm not comfortable with it.
And I've heard that you're going to lean more towards the books than the games, from what I've heard.
We have to shut it down.
Because the author doesn't like the games very much, because he's a big soppy baby.
But we've been lucky. We've been able to sweep the previous incidents under the rug. We can't keep relying on luck. I know nobody cares about the runs down here, but God knows they will.
Angel Distortion says, "Hey Yahtzee, something I've wanted to ask you for a while. What do you do for actual fun?"
I play video games.
What do you do for actual work?
I play more video games. But I play video games that I would not have chosen to play.
Yeah.
Also, I design video games. That's something I do for fun. And I write books. And occasionally I go indoor rock climbing. I got my own climbing shoes and harness. I've been slacking on that lately because I've been getting over some tendinitis in my wrist. I think I shall have to get back into it soon.
That'll do it. I had a strained muscle in my shoulder a couple weeks ago, and I couldn't even do anything.
Yeah. Right, well I turned the power on. I think that was what I was supposed to do.
Here's a good question for you, Yahtzee. Sir Reginald asks, you mentioned that you like the more pulpy books when it comes to old literature like Count of Monte Cristo.
Yeah.
Are there any other pulpy books that you would recommend?
Well, I've always been quite fond of H.G. Wells.
And Count of Monte Cristo is fucking phenomenal, by the way.
Yeah, it's a great book. And I very much enjoy books like The Time Machine, The Invisible Man, War of the Worlds, all of them. I think
you've heard that there.
I think H.G. Wells has it over Jules Verne for me, because Jules Verne tends to get bogged down with the science of it. I was reading 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and there's like 10 pages in the middle where he just explains how a diving suit works. And like, I don't care, just fight Krakens.
You've heard that the BBC are going to be doing a War of the Worlds set on the original script.
Really?
Yes, miniseries.
Which original script?
Not the original script. I mean the original book.
Oh, okay.
So the original setting.
There was the famous. Was it Jeff Lynne's War of the Worlds?
Oh.
That had that great soundtrack that went da da da. You know what I mean.
Farewell, Thunder Child. Yeah, I know that one.
Oh, bugger, I thought I could get away from this obvious boss arena room without being harassed.
Technic Studio says, Yahtzee, did you know there's an anime loosely based on the Count of Monte Cristo?
I do, I've seen it, Gankutsu. It's pretty good. I like it because it's like the story of Count of Monte Cristo, but focusing on a relatively minor character from the book. So it's interesting to see
minor character?
Albert de Morcerf.
Okay.
So it's quite interesting to see the plot from the perspective of an outsider who might regard the Count of Monte Cristo as a very suspicious figure. But it does have a bit of, you know, Japanese anime-ness about it. Like, there's in the middle of it, there's just a giant robot fight for no particular reason.
Beard and Wraith says, Yahtzee, where's our damn Mogworld movie? Tell us who will play Mr. Wonderful.
I don't know, David Tennant.
Ooh.
There you go.
John Markley says he just fired up the PC Vanquish for the first time and it's better than I remember. That's because they patched it last night, John.
Right.
Because up until last night, if you ran it at over 30 frames per second, you took damage at a higher rate based on how much higher your frame rate was.
Oh yeah, I was playing that. They released like a beta patch build you could play to get around that problem, but it had like a million problems of its own.
Yeah,
like
they,
there was one level
said it actually live last night,
yeah,
like for everybody.
There was one level that, for some reason, I just kept dying before it faded in. So I just load the save, black screen, a second's pause, and then death screen. And then I like went back to the original build and finished that chapter, and I had like 18 deaths logged.
Nice.
And of course they deduct points for deaths in Platinum games, so that was a bit galling. So someone was talking about how it's possible to dismantle items to get crafting items.
Yeah, and they said when you go to wherever the crafting thing is, you'll have them all.
Oh, hang on. There, I've got 21 rig armatures, except not enough tech scrap. So I'll just use a few of my soul bank items. I mean piles of scrap. Yeah, let's just use them all, fuck it.
Chaotic King Roshan says, Yahtzee, what do you think of the ending of Dark Souls with all the DLC taken into account?
You know, I never cared much about the endings of Dark Souls. It's always the journey that matters. But yeah.
It's so very zen of you.
Every game's pretty much got the same choice, doesn't it? You either sustain the fire or start the new Age of Dark. So whatever you do, it doesn't seem to last. So it's never really mattered that much to me. I just like the experience of playing Dark Souls. Yeah, okay. I'm going to make myself a nice vest. Can I make a nice hat? No, I cannot make a nice hat. Or a nice anything else. Ooh, I can upgrade my weapon though. Well, I'm about to fight a boss and it's best to use quick weapons for those. So I will upgrade this vibro cutter I've got.
Something mimics as Yahtzee, is the journey in this game worth it?
No. Unless you like used to work in a warehouse and really miss it for some reason.
Now that's funny, see.
Okay.
Hey, Julian 37.
Happy to help.
I was gonna run past everything. Oh, I'm doing a boss run, motherfuckers. Yeah, Belaphon, there's some tech issues preventing the news EP going up, but we played it at the beginning of this stream, so if you watch it on the archive, you can enjoy it right there.
And it's
in the meantime,
hopefully going to be up shortly. The encoder got kicked in the head, so
yeah, the encoder's being weird.
But the people are working on it.
Yes, the people, the hypothetical people,
the amorphous, somewhat nameless people.
The people.
Ha! I hit you once. Now is the time to apologize. Ow.
This is not Yahtzee's first run through of the Surge. He played it already once for his review, and this is a second playthrough where he's playing as, what is it, Rhino?
Yeah, it doesn't seem to matter so much.
Why are you fighting Metal Gear?
Because he's going to shoot off a nuke and blow up the world.
Oh, okay.
It's not exactly Metal Gear.
Blowing up the world sounds good at this point after seeing this much of the game.
I'll be honest, it's you could tell it's not Metal Gear because there wasn't a 37-minute cutscene before the fight started.
No, it was just a fucking five minutes of torture porn rather than 5 minutes of mentally distressed women with their tits out. Which is
or
the
crawling through.
Yeah, which is the hallmark of Metal Gear games, I find. Ow, or something.
The thing that always sticks in my mind is crawling through a fucking microwave while your suit explodes.
Yeah, and then you get to the end and you didn't even need to be there. Fucking Otacon does all the work. What was that all about?
The worst bit is I still like that game despite that bullshit.
Metal Gear games always have a certain charm to them.
Yeah. They also make you want to kill everybody involved, but at the same time you've got to respect the gameplay bits.
Ha ha ha! I am cunning! I made him hurt himself.
Well done.
We got a recommendation from Chad that says while he's stomping, if you hit his off leg, he'll fall down.
Oh, really?
Oh?
I thought he just had to build up his orange bar. Don't feel like stomping today, mate?
Well, I just heard you getting that tip.
Yeah, he's figured it out.
Ow. You stomped there, stomp again.
Evaluating tactical options.
I'll evaluate you. This is Metal Gear Zeke at best.
Well, I mean, this is Metal Gear's always so weird.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah,
it went from watching the first game, Metal Gear Solid. You know, the first Metal Gear Solid was really, really good, and then it just 2 was pretty decent.
I guess everyone seems to like 3.
Yeah, everybody seems to like 3, and I really didn't. And 4, I literally almost rage quit before I played it. So
I didn't get on with 2 at all, but then I came to it very late. 3, I quite like. I'm not very good at it, but I quite like it. 4, I wish you could just skip so much of that game.
What's the Hive Mind's opinion on Peace Walker and MGS5, of course?
Peace Walker was the was the PSP one, wasn't it?
Yeah, the one that was like MGS5 before MGS5.
Yeah.
Peace Walker is good on the PS3.
Okay then.
In the HD remix, they did a Peace Walker release, and it was actually quite good.
Then I also thought the thing about 4 was that you started the game, and then by the time I remember getting it on PS3 and sitting down to play it and starting it up, and the opening cutscenes were so
etc.
The opening cutscenes were so long that my PS3 controller went to sleep before I was allowed to play.
Wow.
I was like, yeah.
Do you know, if you had a PlayStation Eye and you actually were stupid enough to leave it plugged in, if the PlayStation thought you looked tired, the game would stop playing.
What? How's it?
I did not know that.
Some people always look tired, like Joel Hodgson.
Yep. Me?
Yeah, he can't play. He just can't play at all.
Speaking of Joel Hodgson, I was trying to expand my horizons the other day, and I watched this sci-fi sitcom that had been released on Yahoo as like a Yahoo original called Other Space. I don't know if anyone else has seen it, but it was just recommended to me randomly from like a forum thread. And I kind of liked it. It wasn't the best, but it was fun. It was sort of like reminded me of Red Dwarf a little bit. It's about a bunch of inexperienced officers on a spaceship lost in another universe. Don't know if anyone on the chat knows about it, has heard of it, can confirm it's not that bad. And anyway, I bring it up because Joel Hodgson from MST3K was on it, in the main cast. Oh yeah, I just registered. I beat the boss. Yay me! Guess we'll continue then.
Yahtzee, there's a question for you from chat. Are you planning to review the 2D Souls clones like Dead Cells or Hollow Knight?
I mentioned Dead Cells earlier. Yes, I have been playing that a bit. It's a bit punishing, but I'm getting a handle for it. And I played Hollow Knight a bit as well, but it's not really grabbing me the same way. Alright, now we're no longer in an industrial area.
Incredible honor of meeting Jonah Gutenberg.
Wait, there's different areas?
Amazing, I know.
I mean, you already know that Creo is not just another company.
This guy reminds me of a friend of mine who works in tech. But you wouldn't know him. Oh hey, this is where we get a drone.
Hey, there's a Sims guy.
Connection failure.
No, Sims go back.
Manual link established. Welcome to main production. Worker number. Database error.
Backstone is asking, is anybody from the Escapist going to E3 this year? Isn't Liz going?
Liz will be at the Liz will be at E3. Yahtzee, are you going over?
I haven't heard anything about it. Probably not.
Right. So, where is everybody?
Unable to initiate link to Creo.
No, Tetsani, this is The Surge. That's exactly
named after that.
Yes, that's exactly how you're supposed to say it. The Surge.
It's named after the soft drink from the 90s.
Oh, God. Wasn't there some big thing about that coming back or something?
Yeah, they sold it on Amazon for like a month and people went berserk.
The main difference being, of course, that the Surge, the energy drink, gives you energy.
Whereas this saps it.
Yes, this just bores you to death. So, we have a companion drone now.
Oh, thank God. Can we use it to tag enemies?
Yes. We can use it to attack a distant enemy and get them to peel away from their friends, amongst other things. It does, however, as this pop-up is admitting, do very little damage indeed.
Backsorn says I want to see untethered / wireless VR head-mounted displays. I can't wait to own a wireless Oculus. Can we just make VR not suck first?
Yeah, well, that's a tall order, I suppose.
I still don't see VR taking off in the long run.
Well, I think VR is going to be a niche, or whatever you want to call it. It's going to find its spot. It's going to be like...
I guess it's always going to be a tech niche because there's so much fucking setup you have to do to use it.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone knows I weirdly like it. But,
I mean, it's got its uses for sure, but I don't see it. I don't think VR will ever be mainstream in gaming.
No, I agree with you.
In its current form.
I think it can create some pretty cool experiences.
Oh yeah, I think where you'll see VR really take off will be in that format. Like, the Major League Baseball is doing VR stuff with some games now, where you can put your headset on and it's like you're sitting behind home plate watching the ball game.
Yeah.
The question is,
that's a cool experience. I think there will be cool, like, Yahtzee goes to the beach and films his walk down the beach, and his friends can experience it in VR on Facebook.
Well, first I'd have to go down to a beach.
Oh yeah, I'm just, you know.
And also, you need a camera that's got two separate.
And then you need friends on Facebook. I mean, all of these things are requirements, but.
And also, I need to give a shit.
Well, that's the big one.
I think what's going to hold VR back is how big is that niche actually ever going to be? Is it going to be enough?
It's going to be restricted.
Is it going to be enough to justify the cost?
It's going to be restricted to people with lots of money and lots of time and lots of USB ports on their very expensive computers.
Yeah. So I mean, that's one thing. And see, the BlazeROM, or no, I'm sorry, it wasn't BlazeROM. It was 420 Harambe says I can see VR ending up in arcades next to the machines that let you play Guitar Hero.
Oh yeah.
No, never, because you have to put on somebody else's sweaty VR headset.
It does get sweaty. I can confirm that. But there are measures. You could store the VR headsets in like a decontamination chamber.
You could refrigerate them.
Yeah.
So it's got a cooling thing around where it touches your face.
Yeah, but here's the other question for you: how often will you be willing to walk into a public arcade and put a thing on your face so you can't see what's going on around you?
Maybe they could just put you in like a locked booth while you're doing it.
Like, there you go. That might work.
And then you could do a sort of a 4D experience where you can pump smells into the room and vibrate the floor.
There you go. Make the chairs move around. But yeah, I mean, I think VR is gonna have a niche. It's gonna be there, like Yahtzee said. People are gonna play it.
The only way I see VR actually getting a serious foothold is if you see a device that's built specifically for it actually take off. If you see a console that is explicitly for VR, like like a 3DS, but instead of it being a 3D gimmick, it's a VR gimmick.
Well, that was the mistake the PlayStation Move and the Kinect always made, was that the Wii forced you to use the motion controller.
Yeah.
And the PlayStation 4 had the standard controller as well as the PlayStation Move, so why wouldn't you just stick with that? And because they made it a necessity, there was a lot more enthusiasm amongst third-party developers and users.
I mean, Yahtzee, you've been playing with the Oculus Touch.
Yes. Most recently, last week, in last week's stream of Wilson's Heart, which is still archived and can be watched at your leisure, fans.
So, how do you feel about it versus the regular controller?
I think it worked pretty well for that. I mean, I think I said as we were doing it, the fact that it's just your hands and you're not expected to do anything like particularly strenuous, and there's a feedback in the form of the all the buttons under all your fingers. It works rather well, specifically for styles of game in which you are first person and using your hands directly in front of you, but unfortunately that's a small minority of games.
Right.
I mean, it very much limits the kind of game you can make.
it did seem to look like it was working well for Wilson's heart. So
I didn't mind it. I mean, you know what I'm like with motion sensor controls. But
yeah,
I don't
that's why
mind.
I
I do not mind the Oculus Touch. It's more the headaches and the nausea that are the main problem for me.
Well, I think that's the other thing VR is going to have to overcome. Is there are some people that just can't fucking wear it.
Well, maybe they just need practice.
And then, you know,
Suck a lozenge, Ron, for Christ's sake.
I can't help it. The second problem is VR's got, you know, how many... I don't ever have the time where I could sit down and put on a thing on my face and play for an hour.
Oh boy, new enemy. Oh boy, let's hope it doesn't kill me. Ow. That was quite an empty hope, it seems. Ow, ow, I'm dead. I'm dead because the camera zoomed into a wall and I couldn't see what I was doing.
You mentioned in the review that the camera gets a little goofy.
It is a bit of an arse. Oh hey, this thing's working now.
She said I should get to the executive level, that it's safe there. Security forces have it locked down.
What have we got? Bugger all, and furthermore bugger all. Oh, I can make a new body, I guess. That has better defense.
But it's the... Getting there, that's the problem.
Shut up, audio log. Who do you think you are? System Shock 2?
She said things will soon be under control, and
I've only just created Rhino body gear. Why wasn't I wearing that from the outset?
For external aid, it tells you how serious.
You guys still there? You've gone all quiet.
This is probably...
Yeah,
I'm just watching...
If they've got everything under control...
I just checked in on the...
Hey, do you have lights now?
Yes, I have a spotlight in front of me. Look at it go.
Yay.
See how it shines.
Have a nice day, Warren.
Oh, I will now that I've got a light. Ow, ow. Somehow I got hurt from that.
Tip for Yahtzee, uninstall.
Yeah, that's a pretty good tip. Whoever said that.
Yeah.
That was the Zelda fanboy.
Well, I guess I don't need to ask what he would suggest I play instead.
Dark
Probably
Souls.
yourself, safe bet, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god, now I'm picturing a Zelda done with Dark Souls mechanics.
Or Crash Bandicoot, perhaps. So, aren't they remaking
Zelda
that?
with...
I had a really bad flashback the other day. I walked past the GameStop and there was a Crash Bandicoot sign in the window, and you know, for just a minute I was 10 again.
Didn't I hear they're making...
just imagine the last.
Didn't I hear they're doing an HD re-release of that?
They are. That's what the sign was for in the window.
I guess now Uncharted 4 has reminded everyone of it. Oh, hello. Ah, you bastard. Don't you do that, Stunlock McGee. I'm gonna have your whatever that is. Okay. I think I should cut off some more heads. How are we feeling about that?
Yeah, let's do
it. Crumbling Phalanx asks, Yahtzee, will you ever play a Paradox Grand Strategy game for our amusement?
Oh,
what's
Lord.
them then? What is that then?
Like Crusader Kings 2.
Oh, that. Well, people keep going on about it. I know it's, that's one of them popular sim games, isn't it? That's the one with the Game of Thrones mod.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, piss, I am dead again.
People have been enjoying the Cornwall campaign I've been doing.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I'm taking over all of Britain slowly as Cornwall.
Oh, well.
Technically,
I guess that'll preserve the Cornish language.
That's the only thing that will.
Pasties for everyone.
They were literally talking about weaponized pasties in the chat.
Come back anytime.
I was resisting the urge to use my Cornish accent, and I guess I succumbed.
I live next to Cornwall. They don't have that accent.
Well, there's something like that.
I would have said that was Somerset.
That's roundabouts there, isn't it?
It's county away.
Yeah. Well, counties are small. Somerset.
Oh, I've got to get myself some cider.
Oh, some cider. I've got a brand new combine harvester.
And I'll give you the key.
Exactly. In jokes.
If anybody gets that, well done. You're a true Wurzel. Now I'm thinking of Wurzel Gummidge. God.
Yeah, I remember that.
I just love the fact that almost nobody in this chat will know what the fuck that is.
I damn sure don't know what you're talking about, so...
Should we enlighten him?
It was a scarecrow man, played by John Pertwee, the third Doctor Who.
Yep.
Ah.
Yeah, you understand that reference, don't you?
Yeah, that reference I get.
Bloody Doctor Who. People watch Doctor Who in America think they know British television.
As a Bristolian, I find these...
I never thought that was what clued me into British television. I watching all those episodes of Faulty Towers, maybe.
Oh god.
And by all those you mean 12, because that was all that was ever made.
Yeah.
Oh, Blake 7.
Oh, I was about to bring that up, yeah. Blake 7 is the classic British sci-fi for people who want to be hipsters.
Yep. I actually have it on V8. Oh god, I'm a hipster.
You really are.
That's...
Yeah.
Off with your
Damn
head.
good show, bar its problems, but...
Well, I think the problems were mainly budget related.
Yeah, mostly. There are a couple of shitty actors in a few episodes, but for the most part it was just budget.
Can anybody hear me?
Blaze Rom brings up the IT crowd. Don Cohen brings up the Vicar of Dibley.
Nothing wrong with Vicar of Dib.
Yeah, I remember Vicar of Dib. And King Spunf brings up Brass Eye. The classic Brass Eye.
A lot of people have been talking about that recently.
What's Chris Morris up to these days?
I think he's got something new coming out. Somebody was talking about it recently. What about Ab Fab?
I was never that much of a fan.
Fair enough.
It's like Red Dwarf.
Dinner Ladies.
Oh god.
Father Ted.
Father Ted was great. Dinner Ladies used to piss me off slightly.
You know what's going on around here? You mean all this crap? No idea, man.
I was never a big fan of those comedy shows that tried to be heartfelt and, you know, down with the common man.
What did you... what about Black Books?
That was good. I used to like Black
That
Books.
was good.
With Dylan Moran and Bill Bailey.
Yeah.
Popular
Bill Bailey,
comedians.
that bit where he had, what was it, Dave syndrome. He was on the car.
So, what are you gonna do now?
Oh, gotta love Bill Bailey.
Yeah, it's the law. I saw him live once.
Oh!
Yes, when he came to the Brisbane Arts Centre.
Nice.
That was fun. I didn't
Oh,
register
Rick
that
Mail.
Oh, Rick Mail. Great. I love Bottom. I'm a
Damn good show.
Bottom is something I can rewatch at any time, as many times as I want, and I never get bored of it.
How much time has passed?
I guess I've just got a thing for really heavy slapstick. Really relentless slapstick.
Uncle Tusky says he misses keeping up appearances.
Oh yeah, that was filmed in the outdoor shots of that were filmed in a village near where I grew up.
It cut open my flesh, pierced into my bones. I can
One Foot in the Grave, that was good. Oh god, the hedgehog. He put his foot in the mouldy hedgehog. That was horrifying. Oh god, and the bit where they give Mrs. Wargraves the copy of Alien to watch, and they give her some eggs, and they turn out to be crocodile eggs. She cracks open the egg, and you just see her face. That was some wonderful facial acting by that actress.
Wonderfully contrived plots that show used to have as well.
Oh god, yeah. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Jeeves and Wooster, Sarah Phoenix. I would also...
Jeeves and Wooster was...
Relatedly, I would bring up A Bit of Fry and Laurie.
Yeah.
That was good. Hugh Laurie before he was Dr. House.
Weren't they talking about doing some new stuff together recently?
Well, I guess if Dr. House isn't paying the bills anymore.
Not the 9 o'clock news?
Yeah, let's just name every British TV show we can think of. I was just rewatching an episode of Garth Marenghi's Dark Place last night as well.
Hey, you over here. Please,
I watched that once.
Well, that had a sort of cult following.
Yeah.
Even
I get why people
obscure, even for the British comedy fan.
I get why people like it, but I could just watch it once and that was sufficient.
I suppose it's the sort of thing that doesn't really work past one season.
Yeah. But I get cloying after a while if you try to do it again.
And once you sort of you get the joke, yeah, it's deliberately badly made. That was the main joke.
I actually did a student film like that once. That was hysterical. We should help.
I'd like to
help run out.
I would like to help that man. I do not know how to help that man.
Well, we've been excluding him with loads of British stuff. Let's try and do American stuff for him.
Okay.
Bolton's?
Doesn't even really help.
How about that Super Bowl?
I don't do a lot. I'm like Yahtzee. I don't watch a lot of TV. So
Leave It to Beaver. I think.
Please stop.
I think you just list Saturday morning cartoons as the American equivalent. Hey, anyone remember Hey Arnold?
Yes. How about Dallas? Oh, Christ.
Yahtzee stressed and scared says in the chat, go back up and then drop down the elevator shaft.
Oh, there's a thought. Let me just
Suicide. Best way. MASH.
MASH. Except there's a star between every letter. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce that.
It's kind of like Stalker with all the periods.
Yeah. Mr. Asta star star her star. Mr. Asta star her star. Alright, how do we get up there? Do we have to go to that horrible place with the spider thing that kicked my ass? I worry that we do.
That does sound like a boss fight, I've got to be honest.
Oh, no, wait, is this it?
Did you ever watch Time Team?
I did occasionally used to watch Time Team. Aha,
I really enjoyed those.
Wait a second. Oh, this exo lift doesn't work. Well... Oh, wait a sec. Haha!
Hey, buddy.
I found the man. Now I will stand behind him and stick my big hard probe right up his rear socket. So that he might have a jump start. How was it for you?
Wheel of Fortune.
Damn, thank you. Been sitting here so long.
Now we're just doing game shows. That's
yeah.
We've gone off the cliff now.
Failsafe protocol active. Log.
Do you know those old coin games that used to have in arcades where you put a coin in and there's great big moving shelves and they've got coins on them?
You could be describing like 9 things there.
Are you talking about like the bulldozer games where you would try to put a coin in and get it to push a bunch of coins off?
Oh, yeah, I think I remember those. Yeah, did they?
They've made that into a game show now.
Oh, for God's sake! Did
I'm
anyone
not
ever
joking.
Did anyone ever make money from those?
Oh, somebody did. There was one dude that walked by there and stuck a quarter in at the perfect time. And
Yeah, you got to think there's got to be like maybe like one guy out of 1,000.
Yeah.
Who successfully drops the coin that makes some other coins spill out.
and then puts them in his pocket and leaves.
Yeah.
It's like going to Vegas and sitting down at a walking to a slot machine and pulling a handle and winning a jackpot, and then you leave. You don't keep putting money in the machines
Because you're not an idiot.
But what if you're on a roll?
Yeah, you aren't.
There is no such thing.
Well, I mean,
The only roll is a dodge roll.
If you actually start looking into the stuff with Vegas, it's the entire existence of Las Vegas is one of the biggest psychological experiments ever. So where if you go to Vegas, you always want to play the slot machines that are closest to the front door because they pay off better.
And the casinos are all meticulously designed to maximize profit. There's no visible windows to the outside because if people can see daylight, there's
no clocks.
They don't gamble as much.
Yeah, there's no clocks. There's no windows. If you're staying in the hotel, if you want to go anywhere in the hotel, if you want to go to the coffee shop, you have to walk through the casino to do it.
Yeah, you're just in a sort of void of gambling. Ow! Well, geez. Well, geez, again. Why are you such an asshole? Well, I guess we might as well wrap it up. It's 1 o'clock.
Oh, already?
The usual end of the stream.
Oh, yeah, it is.
So, yes, thank you, Austere Squire. Thank you for noticing that I died.
But in more letters.
So, this has been the post-CP stream of The Surge. I hope it has told you everything you needed to know about this game by Dick 13
It told me
Interactive.
all I needed to know.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. So, tune in every week for another post-zero punctuation stream. Nominally post-zero punctuation, of course. If you didn't see this week's zero punctuation because the site's experiencing technical issues, you can watch the beginning of this stream because we played it there. But I think if you've been watching me play, you already know pretty much everything you need to know about this game. I've been Yahtzee Croshaw. Follow me on Twitter at Yahtzee Croshaw to know when I'm streaming. Follow the Escapist stream generally on Twitter at Escapist Twitch. Is that it?
Stream.
Escapist stream. I always get that wrong. At Escapist
I do
stream.
too.
I have been joined by Ron Whittaker and Viventar.
Don't forget that John Markley is going to pop on here as soon as Yahtzee's gone.
Yep. Oh yes,
Stick
he usually
around.
does. And what is John Markley playing today?
I think he was talking about Vanquish.
Yes.
He'll be on Vanquish,
He'll be on with
PC Vanquish.
Alright, well, stick around for some Vanquish. Here is a man's bum that I inadvertently put right into the middle of the screen because I just touched the mouse to quit the game. So, on that note, I will bid you a good day. Oh, and there's no Saturday stream this week because we were away, but we will be the week after that. That's it.
There will be other stuff on instead.
Yeah, there'll be something else. I think that's it. Bum.